The next thing that we're going to do is I go back to my project. I go to my boards, I go to my queries, and I need to create a user stories query. Simple, as you would know, you hit a new query and then create it. So I'm not going to create a query for understanding that you would have the knowledge of creating queries. I click on user stories and I click on the editor to show you what I've created here. So ensure you have a few considerations here to make it work. So I have my user story has the first option is match top level work items first, and the tree type is parent child, not duplicate of duplicate. So the top portion you have an area where I have created it. So area path I have one. Work item type is epic. Remember, we can make it epic. State is any. And for your tree structure, your work item type should be any, an ID greater than 0, and the state is any. So you are pulling in virtually everything, anything and everything here as work items, as you see here. Okay, before you save, click on column options. I need to add a bunch of columns, which I've shown here. So you need to add the parent, work item type, title, assigned to, etc., etc. If you want new columns, you can definitely add in here. But these are the ones that are required to be added. Ensure that you add the start date and the finish date for the task. These are two additional fields that you have already created. Hit OK, hit the save button, and yeah, you can save it as any name possible. But ensure you copy the GUID of this query. Remember to copy this GUID of this query. It's very important. Now, for a few things to remember in here is you need to know the name of the project. So here is your URL. Here is your project. And you also need the teams. How do you get the teams? Go to project settings. I'm not going to make any changes here. Go to team configuration and make a note of the team, Agile project practice team, or the team that you have. Just keep a note of this. You will need these three things to be configured. Now back into your Power BI. So everything is done and dusted here. You see that the iteration details that you have in here is actually the iteration that you have in here under work items is actually what you've created here. And the query is called user stories. Right, now let us come here. What you need to do is click on transform data. You have three parameters. One, URL, change it. Which URL is going to be the one that you're going to use? This would be your URL with the project. See that this is your org URL. So you will have an org URL of this kind. Add it here. Okay, no forward slash at the end. Teams is the name of your team. Project is the name of your project. That is what you would need for the work item to work. Remember, this is only going to make the work item to work, not the others. So in the upcoming videos, we will look one by one how to make this to work. In the next video, we will learn how to create a iteration details. With these two, it would start working for you. You can configure the rest as I'm going to show you. Now, how do you ensure that the work item starts working? If I go into the advanced editor, you will see that the work item is mentioned here. So this becomes your URL. This is your project. And this is your teams. Okay, remember, you see this ID here? This ID should be replaced by the ID you pick from here. This is the GUID you must replace with a work item. So the user stories here corresponds to the work item here. That is as simple as that. Once you're done, hit done, and it starts working. That's one of them that you have configured, which would come up later. So you can put in apply. Yeah, you can apply it. Since this is a workable solution, it will start working for me, but we will start working other areas too. Okay, so keep watching for the rest of the series to ensure that everything works nice and fine for you. Hi, this is Abhijit, and as promised, I'm going to show you in a series of videos how do you configure this powerful dashboard for the Azure DevOps project.